Fellas, I wanted to talk about fuel mileage. This 24 is getting phenomenal fuel mileage given how new the engine is. It's not even broken in. All right, folks, buddy, 1,400 miles. It's not just the fuel mileage. It's my understanding of the mechanical part of this thing that I'm surprised the fuel mileage that it yields. So most importantly, or should I say, I want to compare it to the Cummins and share my experience with it. So we're towing 20,000 pounds, aerodynamic 20,000 pounds. This information right here, 11.9, is ever since I hooked up. So all the coffee drinking, idling time is all in here, okay? Now this is strictly interstate driving, right? All right, can you focus, please? I guess not today. 13.4, right? So whatever you want to call it, 13.4, 13.5. It's been fluctuating, high 13s, low 13s through this whole trip. This load is a solid 20,000, meaning it's a little over 20,000. It is aerodynamic, and that is a big plus. I've been pretty much driving on flat ground, right? A little bit of rolling hills, no big deal. Now, a well broken in Cummins, so my 4th gen that has a lot of miles and it's broken in, this is the mileage I would see out of it. It's phenomenal fuel mileage, maybe a little bit less. So this is the most I would get out of a Cummins, and mechanically 6 in a row will always give you a better tow and fuel mileage, right? I grew up knowing that Fords are fuel guzzlers, gas guzzlers, right? And here I am with my 23. This is a 24, talking about the 23 I had a year ago for 3 months testing it. It was a fluke deal, you know. It's just like, or to me, it was a fluke deal. I'm like, it's an early vehicle. They gave us better fuel mileage than they intended to, right? Because I always have this theory they could do better with fuel mileage. And that 23 got phenomenal fuel mileage, and that was 331 rear end, where this one is 355. I'm starting to pick up why they just max out at 355 on the gearing. This engine has so much power, and this transmission seems to be very well it's strategic at this point, right? The 23 was kind of all over the place on a heavier tow. This thing is a solid transmission, right? It's a solid tow. And, yeah. In my mind, the Cummins gets better fuel mileage, right? But the facts speak for themselves. I mean, this thing is phenomenal. I'm surprised time and time over with this fuel mileage. This weekend I traveled out of town and I averaged 20 miles to the gallon on the dot throughout the whole travel. That's a little bit of city, a lot of highway driving, but I mean, I was with family, you know. Rest areas, it's idling, you know. Lunchtime, half the lunch, it's idling, right? Because the kids want to get in the truck. It's hot outside. You know, it was never shut off to be stringent and get the best fuel mileage, right? I wasn't hypermiling. I was driving like I felt like driving. Speed limit or above speed limit in some cases, right? I would drive the truck like I usually drive, and I was surprised to see 20. Once again, you know, the Cummins wouldn't see 20. Not with that kind of driving, and I'm talking about empty driving, right? Just to pick up a truck and my family in it. You know, in the empty driving department, I would expect the Cummins to close the day at 18.5. Coming from a 4th gen, you know, 4th gens are a little bit more fuel efficient than 5th gens. And just an empty truck bopping around town, or should I say out of town. Oh, she downshifted. She rarely does this. So, empty fuel mileage thus far. Okay, this truck's not even broken in. These aren't official numbers like, hey guys, I've done 3 fuel tanks. Being empty, this is what I'm getting. This is first impression fuel mileage. So empty, I'm seeing 20 solid as a round trip from my house to my house. Strictly on the interstate, I could maintain 21.5. That's what it kind of maintains on the interstate. I've seen a whole 22 for a little while, but 21.5 seems to be its sweet spot, and I could, you know, bet money on that. So when I go idling, when I do this and that and others, it falls down. Right? Idle just kills your fuel mileage. It's just fuel burnt for nothing sitting there at that spot. So 20 miles to the gallon as a round trip is phenomenal. Empty miles, right? Loaded miles, this is my first one, and we're hovering 13 up and down 13. So I guess we'll stick to 13 as a first impression. Pretty heavy load. It's aerodynamic, but it is heavy. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense to you guys. I hope y'all have a good one. And as always, may the Lord bless you, and may you have a mighty fine one.